Hi ladies and gentlemen, we are doing our test drive today in the pouring rain on a real windy day to let you experience how quiet and smooth running this 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 is. This is just one of the many lines in this particular model where you have the 550, you also have the 3 AMG lines, 43, 63 and the 63S. This car, without even trying hard, the 0 to 50 effortlessly, you barely feel the gears change. It's 273 pounds of torque with 302 horsepower. It's a V6 twin turbo engine. Extremely quiet. When you hit a bump, being an independent suspension, you barely feel the bump. The way the Mercedes-Benz is designed is so that you have comfort in the steering, but you get to feel the road the way you would expect in any type of a road automobile. You get the smoothness, but you also get to feel the road surface. It's all about the way you're supposed to drive with an automobile. You need to have feeling of every aspect of your environment. This car, if you notice, is extremely quiet. Most SUVs, because of the way a lot of the designs, you get wind noise, you get tire noise, all these different aspects when you have certain types of, especially weather conditions. The vehicle has got a very large screen, as you can see, with the navigation system. It's got an incredible standard Harman Kardon sound system. You have the ability to change the system if you really wanted super high tech music in the automobile to Bang & Olufsen sound system. Automatic climate control. It's dual zone. The reason I call it's the marriage counselor, because there's never a man and woman in a car together that are never the same temperature. So depending on which each person is sitting, you can adjust the temperature for that person. You have standard heated seats. You have memory seats for the driver, so that you can set your memory, will set the steering wheel to your seat position and make you comfortable anytime you get in the car. If there's 2 drivers in a household, you said each one has their own settings, so you never have to fight to put your comfortable setting over again. Don't mind me, we had a little bit of traffic today. It's a rainy day. But if you notice, you don't hear the brakes, you don't feel anything. The car is effortless. You feel you have lots of visual, you see everything around you. There's very few blind spots. This vehicle also comes with optional surround camera system, which people love. One of the greatest things about driving a Mercedes-Benz GLE, besides it's the safest SUV on the road, it has the lowest cost for insurance because it has the lowest fatality rating and it has the lowest theft rating. Only symbol you have that's high with a Mercedes-Benz is replacement parts, because anybody that drives a Mercedes, if they do have a fender bender, they normally want to make sure that they get new parts and it's taken care of by an extremely reputable body shop provided by the dealership. This particular car has normal sunroof. You can also get the panoramic roof, which is what I prefer, which gives you a lot more glass. I like it because it gives you a lot more light inside the automobile. For people that are driving SUVs, that a lot of people, their complaint is maneuvering in tight spots, whether it be in city locations or just driving in a supermarket or a mall parking lot, just trying to get around in everyday occurrences. One of the great things about the Mercedes-Benz GLE, it has the best turning radius in the business. The vehicle you could turn on a dime. So a lot of people go, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that you can turn the wheel, parallel park much easier than your typical automobile or SUV. Because what tends to happen when you go to 4-wheel drive and you go to bigger tires, it makes it much harder to manage. One of the nice things about this Mercedes-Benz is that it's got speed-sensitive steering. The faster you go, the tighter it gets. So that when you're in a parking lot and you don't want to have to build your biceps turning the car, the steering becomes much easier. As you start driving and you start increasing your speed, it tightens the steering, which gives you more control. One of the greatest things about a Mercedes-Benz is they have everything is very clean and simple. You know, a lot of manufacturers, you know, like all kinds of different lights and this and a lot of confusing stuff. They want everything to be at your hands reach, touch, everything to be easy to use, so that you're spending most of your time concentrating on driving and what's around you. When you're dealing with the whole command system with the Mercedes-Benz, you have the ability to go from radios to navigation, telephone. You have two options. You have what we call a touch screen, which works like an iPad that you can maneuver your thumb over and press it to work. My personal preference is I love using the round joystick knob, which is underneath, which is like using your mouse on your computer. You turn it and move it the way you want it to work, and then you press it when you lock in. And there's also a back button. So when I say it's like using a mouse, everybody now has a computer, knows how this whole thing works. You know, and if you use a laptop that has, you know, your finger on the touch screen, you might be more comfortable with using the touch screen aspect of it. You can control your suspension system, the drivetrain. This four-wheel drive model has the ability, has a towing capacity of 7,700 pounds. So if you have a small boat, small trailer, this vehicle will have no problem doing it. This is also full-time, all-time, all-wheel drive. One of the things that I love about it is that you could have three wheels in a bad position on solid sheets of ice, and it'll divert all the power to one wheel, and it'll move this vehicle out of its way. This vehicle basically makes anybody who doesn't know how to drive in bad weather, makes them a good driver, because it helps if there's an oversteer or understeer. We have systems in the vehicle which prevent the car from oversteering and understeering, braking systems, I mean all kinds of different systems that will help your driving and save your life. God forbid you need to maneuver in a very harsh, drastic way. The other great thing that I love having in this car is you have the ability to, you have what we call, we called it Embrace for a while, now it's Mercedes-Benz On Demand. You know, you have an access to having this car tied into your iPhone, and it'll tell you everything that's going on. You can unlock and lock the doors, you can put geofencing on the car if you had kids driving the car. There's just some pretty exciting stuff. Now, this is a lot to put into this small little test drive, but you know, if you want to come down to the showroom, see one of our great sales specialists, drive this car in a little more detail. As I always tell everybody, part of the deal, or 50% of the deal, is the feel of the wheel. And once you feel this Mercedes-Benz, I think the rest will be easy for you and for your family.